management as far as logistics and supply chain is concerned. What comes to my mind first is, how do I know what is available? Why should I take cognizance of what I have
Yes, Lord,
available?
or Abi Ogo.
Yes, Lord. Ogo, okay, on my own part, Ogo is easier than this one.
Yes, yes.
I just feel that since now I've been spending money for transport, and but let's talk about the what we do. For me, that's what I look at. See that spend money for transport all the while, and today, even though we are supposed to sing it tomorrow, and today is not. Even though it was proper, if he had placed a call across,
Hello, sir.
aware.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Pass this observation. I think you're too close to your device. So as you're speaking, we are getting like a feedback from you. So I don't know if you're using an hands-free, let it be a bit far from your mouth. And if you're too close to your device, you can adjust a bit, sir, so that we can hear you very well. Thank you, sir.
Is it better now? Hello, is it better now, please?
Yes, it's
Probably.
okay, I think.
Am I good to go?
I think it's better now, sir. I think it's better now.
All right,
Yes,
Mr. Andrew, thank you for that observation. Thank you so
Not
much.
clear.
I really
You are not-
appreciate. Yeah. So, like I said before, talking about inventory as far as logistics and supply chain is concerned, one thing comes to mind when you make mention of this. What materials, don't forget, we are dealing with finished goods, we are dealing with every other thing. So what comes to my mind is, why do I material at my disposal? Why do I need to have this? Are there other parameters? Are there other things that I ought to put into consideration before having as much as I am having? Putting in mind that customer satisfaction and customer's expectation is paramount. How will I look in the front of my customers when a particular demand is made and I tell them, sorry, I do not have it? I look unserious. I look like one that is not ready for business. I will be bypassed, and then the business will be given to any other person. But for me to ensure that I do not shoot myself on the foot by having overstocking and also understocking, I need to really understand what inventory management is all about. I need to understand what inventory management is all about. We say that it refers to the process of ordering. I want to know what is preempting my order, the demand forecast that has been made, the supply forecast that has equally been made. Why do I need to have in my warehouse 5,000 cartons of or bags of raw materials? Why? Is it that I have done my estimate, I have done my forecasting, and I know within the possible period of time, the product will be exhausted? Why am I getting this amount of materials? Is it because of the current trend of things in the economy that is pushing me to? But then supposing it crashes in the next 5 months, what will I do? Supposing again, the price skyrockets in a dimension that I cannot also fit in. What do I do? So, as a supply chain manager, as a logistician, you need to really go into budget and planning, forecasting, effective and efficient forecasting. I am storing these materials. For example, in the past few weeks, we know exactly what the dollar rate, the exchange rate is in Nigeria. It's been going up from 150, 1,005, 6, 7, 1,008. Now, as a business person, you decide to go with the trend that let me go purchase as much as I can with the prevailing dollar rate. Supposing in the next couple of months, dollar is about 900, 800, you start to gain. On the other hand, you are skeptical. You are afraid. What if? What if? And at the end of the day, you decide not to procure the material, being hopeful that in the next couple of months, in the next 2-3 months, the price will drop. But unfortunately, in the next 3, 4, 5 months, the price is even double. What will your business do? That is where we find ourselves as business people who should take inventory management to heart. Because what you do, what you refuse to do, will definitely have an adverse effect on your business or vice versa. The need for you to be proactive is very important. You don't need to be reactive as a business person, but rather what a proactive person. Now we talk about storing. Do I have the facility to store the amount of materials that I want to order? What am I using it for? Who are the people that this material is suitable for? What is the projection? As a matter of fact, when you are working as an inventory manager, a key department that you must not do without. One of such is the sales department. The market is. They will give you a tentative analysis as to what the market is. How is the product doing? How is the product doing? What is the level of acceptability? What is the level of decline? What are the customers saying as far as this product is concerned? What can we do better to have a competitive advantage? What can we do better to be in the market? This department, the sales, how much or how many did we sell in the last few months? Why did we not sell the volume we sold in the last 6 months? And this month, we've just sold about 2. Why? There must be a reason for that. Have you put the current economic situation into consideration? Have you put into consideration the fact that the money is not available? The money power is no longer available in the hands of your customers. Have you put into consideration that people are cutting costs? People are reducing what they buy. Why? Because the purchasing power is not there. And you talk about selling a company's inventory. When we make use, we make use of inventory, for example, to bring it home. You know, every December, in some houses, in some families, the woman will like, okay, let me check my wardrobe. And what are those clothes that I'm no longer putting on? how many skirts, okay, how many suits, how many this and that. I don't like this color again, it's out of fashion. I think I've grown this. The color is no longer appealing. They begin to do what? Select what they do not want anymore. Put it aside. The next thing that comes to their mind is hitting the market to have more orders placed and it is brought into their wardrobes. Like for the men, we don't have issues because we only have like maybe 2, 3 black trousers, 5 pairs of shoes, black suit and maybe brown. And then our shirts is not much. So to do inventory as a man, you just open your wardrobe. You can count your trousers. You can count your shirts. You don't have, So for a company, sometimes inventory is also do what? Is also taken. You also do what? Take inventory. The last 6 months, what are some of the items? What are some of the materials that is obsolete, that is no longer useful, that is no longer appealing to the company? They are just lying there waste, occupying space. You take them off. That is inventory. The account department, how many ACs are no longer functioning? The sales department, how many fans do you have? What is the number of sockets? How many tables do you have that is working and not working? How many this? That is what inventory management. You are trying to say, what do we have at our disposal that is still relevant to the organization? What are those things that is no longer relevant to the organization that needs to be discarded? That is inventory, right? So we say that this includes the management of raw materials, the components,
Yes,
and finished product,
ask you.
as well as what? Warehousing and processing of such items. Please, can you mute your mic, please? All right, so we talk about the components. It is one thing to procure raw materials. It is another thing altogether to talk about the different components that you will use in order to convert that raw materials to what? Into finished goods. For example, you are into, let's say, confectionaries, right? You procure your flour. Your flour cannot automatically turn itself into bread. It cannot turn itself into pizza. What do you need? There are other components, other materials that you need to procure that will bring out the best of that flour to becoming the end product that you have as pizza, as bread, as meat pie, and what have you. So these are the components that must be what put into consideration, right? And you talk about the warehousing. How are we going to store this product after finishing? How are we going to store it? Are we just going to keep it like that, or we have a specific defined secluded place that is suitable for the storage of these items? You understand who is going to manage this? What is this level in terms of warehouse management? We will come to that. So we say that there are different types of inventory management, each with the pros and cons, depending on what the management or companies need. Sometimes you procure materials based on just in time. There are certain materials, there are certain products that is only converted as a result of just in time. We will get to that. So these are different methods. Some would tell you, no, I cannot store a lot in my warehouse. I don't have the capacity. I only work as the demand is, the order is placed. A typical example, in some restaurants in Nigeria, you place an order for food. They don't sell the food that was sold yesterday. They do what? They make a fresh food let's say soup, a fresh bowl of soup for you. Why? That is just an example of just in time. They don't need to cook 5 pots of soup yesterday and keep and say the customers will place order. No. Why is it like that? Because of the peculiarity of such material, of such order. Okay? Because of the peculiarity of what the organization stands for. We are a company that deals with just-in-time approach. There are advantages, there are also what disadvantages to that. Okay, so we said that inventory control or inventory management is a process of overseeing and controlling the movement of goods in a company from the time they are ordered to the time they are sold. Whatever happens in between, from the time the procurement team went to the field to procure the material to the point where it was brought into the venue, the facility, from the point where it is converted from the raw materials to finished goods, from the time where it is packaged, from the time where it is stored, from the time where it is, distributed, transported to the end users. This is all-round inventory, because whatever goes into the various steps is being taken into consideration by the inventory manager, by the operational manager, by the procurement manager, by the production manager, so that nothing is out of grip. It involves managing the flow of products in and out of companies' warehouse or storage facilities, ensuring that the right products are available in the right quantity at the right time. As simple as that. I began by saying, how will I look in the face of my customer who is placing an order? And I say, hey, sorry, man, we actually don't have it for now. Please, can you give us like the next 5 days? We are actually expecting. You are talking stories. You are telling stories. Your customer does not have the patience to wait. Even if one person decides to wait, what about others? They check out the next available close substitute. Therefore, we must put this into consideration. Now, the inventory. We talk about the stock out and the stock in. We talk about the purchase, the production, the transfer in, the sales, raw materials, transfer out, and the shrinkage. All these are what components of what inventory. You take inventory of what comes in. I gave Mr. Mustafa 5 bags of cement. The production, what did you do with it? What were you able to produce with the 5 bags? What were you able to produce? Was there any wastage along the line? If there was, what constituted this wastage? How could the wastages be curtailed to the minimum level that it will not affect the organization? It will not affect production. It will not affect output. Right? This is the stock in. The purchase is there, the production, the transfer in. We talk about the stock out. We are done with the production, right? The sales is your responsibility to now push it out. What were some of the incumbencies that was experienced, the challenges, the difficulties? Why did we not sell just the way we sold last time? What happened? The raw materials, is it actually what the specified material that was expected by the consumers. You know, sometimes you make production and you think, okay, when I get to the market, I will explain to them. You have nothing to explain. The truth is, it is better not to do it than to do it, thinking you will explain to them the reason behind your actions. But to do it in the right way, it would have been to explain to them before the production is done the reason behind your action. What is preventing you to do what you want to do? Then they transfer out, the shrinkage. What is the right disposition or positioning of that product as at the time it left the warehouse? Was there anything like material mishandling? Was there anything like material mishandling? Who was responsible for that? How could such be curtailed? What is the adverse implication to the organization? What is the adverse implication to the sales department and eventually to the profit margin of the organization? These have to be what taken into consideration. So we say that, of course, forecasting is very important. You cannot be an efficient inventory manager without having to know what forecasting is all about. If I may ask, what do we mean by forecasting demand? Can somebody just explain to me in brief? Forecasting demand. Who is there? Forecasting demand. Mr. Okay, Aisha Shuaibu. Can you explain what forecasting demand is? Hello? Are we together? Okay, Mr. Robert Sunday, please help us out.
Okay, what do you say I should do, please?
I said, can you please explain what you understand by forecasting demand?
Okay, forecasting demand. I think using my residual knowledge is a kind of demand that is projected by an individual in order to achieve. Sorry, I just joined it now.
Okay. A projection by an individual.
Yes, a demand that that is projected by an individual in order to achieve at a particular or given set of time.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other person, please?
Forecasting demand. Yes,
yes,
I'm here. So forecasting demand is used in determining the demands of the consumers or the buyers in the market.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other person?
We can also say
Okay,
forecasting demand. We can also say forecasting demand. It's a future demand of an item or services that will be estimated by the number of goods and services expected to be demanded by customers or end users within the given period in the future. For example, an item, maybe, for example, your pen, and the manufacturer or the sales comes together to say, okay, they are projecting the pen to be sold or the projection for the demand of an item within the future.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
When we talk about forecasting, okay, any other, who is there?
Okay, yes. Yeah, in addition to what you say, some of the metrics that is used to analyze or to forecast the future, usually you look at the historic data of consumer behavior, market trends, and other relevant factors, other factors that affect the the usage in past history. So usually you look at the past history, look at market trends, and all of that, and that will also inform the decision in analyzing what will be the forecasting demand.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your input. That's very apt.
Also,
now
you can also forecast demand via research. You can make some background research, and based on the research finding, it will now be able to give you an idea to make a projection with the available data based on how the customer's demand for that particular product is going to be within a particular period of time. So research based.
All right. Thank you very much. It is worthy of note that we've all mentioned one particular statement, which is over a period of time. Over a period of time. Forecasting demand could be short term, it could be medium term, and it could be long term forecasting. Okay? What is important in forecasting demand? What is important in forecasting demand is the fact that you are using or adopting different strategies, different approach, different matrices in order to get your facts right. In most cases, you may not have it 100% correct. 100% correct. It is not done that you have it 100% correct. But you can go about it and have it 80-95%, which is an excellent projection. Let's say, for example, you are into producing baby, let's say diapers or anything that pertains to babies. The year 2024, you begin to carry out statistical data analysis. How many children were born between December 31st and February 20th? How many children did we have in the last 5 years? The children we had 5 years ago must have outgrown certain children materials. Now, in the year 2023, December 31st to February 20th, 2024, we had about 15,000 newborn babies. This projection or this statistical analysis that you have will give you an insight as to how many children will get to the age of 4 or 5 in the next 5 years, if you are targeting such group of people. So like somebody said, you are making use of what statistical data. You are making your research. That is why the sales and marketing department, in fact, as a matter of fact, in some organizations, they have research and development department. For every product that is about to be launched, either an existing product or a new product, it is the sole responsibility of this R&D department to go into and give us what to work with. So if you do not have such information at your disposal as an inventory manager, you will not know exactly what to do. So one of the most important things for you to understand is having a concise, precise, exact projection, forecasting demand. In the next 2 years, what is the quantity of products that our customers will be yearning for? Don't forget, there are other factors that we have to put into consideration. For example, there are products that only move seasonally. We call them seasonal products. Seasonal products. In December, everywhere was lit. with Christmas lights, Christmas trees, Christmas accessories, and all of that. Now tell me that those people that ventured into such business are still in business today, that they are still selling Christmas tree today. The answer is no. Why? Their own kind of business is seasonal. So if I decide that, okay, I'm going to China to bring in 15 tons of or 15 trailer loads of Christmas tree, what is the guarantee that I'm going to sell even up to 5? Considering also the economic value or the economic position, is it not somebody that has seen food to eat that will be thinking of buying Christmas tree of 50,000 naira? You've not been able to buy bag of rice. You are thinking of Christmas tree. It affects. So we understand that some demands are based on what? Seasons. Some demands is answerable to do what? To economic situation. Some demands is answerable to geographical area of operation. Some demand is answerable to the market target. So let us put all this into consideration. It is one thing to make a demand or forecasting demand. It is another thing to simplify the area that you are in. Just like I've mentioned, unless your kind of business is all-rounder. Okay? So we talk about monitoring stock levels. The stock levels should not be out and it should equally not be much unless you have done your findings, you have your facts, you have your projection, and that is giving you the impetus to do what you are doing. Optimizing order and replacement processes. At what point should the stock be replaced? Do we need to wait until it is completely out of stock before we replace? Do we need to wait until it is 70% before it is replaced? All of this has to be decided once the data is analyzed, once the data is presented. Then we talk about setting safety stock levels. Setting your safety stock levels. It means getting to a level that you are safe, that even anything comes up, like we say, insurance covers you. You will not be thrown out of the market. You will not keep your customers waiting. And at the same time, even if the product stays for a period of time, you are not going to lose completely. All this is answerable to do what? An effective and efficient forecasting. You are not losing. Rather, your gain is not as much as what was anticipated, but yet you are not losing. Meaning you can either break even, you are in the process or the level of breaking what? Even, which is healthy for the organization and reducing the cost of carrying inventory. Okay? Are we good? So what are some of the importance of inventory management to an organization? What are some of the importance? Can anybody just mention one, two? The importance of inventory management for every business organization. Anybody?
To prevent wastage.
To prevent wastage, because you at that point in time, you already know what you need. You know what the demand will be. The projection has been made, the data has been analyzed, and you have come up with what? A decision that will aid your operation. So it prevents wastages. Any other person?
It prevents thefts.
prevent theft. Can you expatiate, sir? To prevent theft. What do you mean by that?
When you have when your inventory management is properly in place, it prevents, for example, your staff leaving work, going home with a pack of your item, and it also prevents maybe during the course of sales and promotion, they ended up taking 2 cartons out of the warehouse and they are recording 1 carton. So it prevents thefts from your inventory.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. There are times you procure over and you don't even know what you have. You don't even have a grip, control of what you have procured. At that point in time, you are just opening avenue for people. I've gone to an organization for audit, and then somebody will tell you, don't worry, they don't know what is available. They'll just tell you outrightly, they don't know what we have in the store. Meaning that the management do not even have control over what they have. They don't know. So if the inventory manager comes in and say, sir, we are out of stock. Say, hey, wow, okay. They just speak with the procurement department, let them, not knowing that they have been sabotaged, not knowing that they have moved the material for a resale somewhere. So when you have a functional, systematic inventory management system on ground, it actually ensures that theft is reduced to the barest minimum. Any other person?
Yes, it helps cut down
Also,
cost.
I will
It
say that
enhances customer management.
It enhances customer management because when a customer places an order, they just want to hear, okay, man, what time? Okay, the delivery will be made tomorrow. It gives them confidence. But each time they call and say, actually, man, as a matter of fact, we are so sorry, man. You are just wasting your time. The confidence is reduced. So it boosts the confidence of the customers on the organization. Any other person?
It equally aids restocking, giving room for the procurement department to plan for restocking. For instance, in a situation whereby the storage capacity of the establishment or the company is not enough or is based on production, as the output materials are going out, then they are restocking. It aids them to know how to restock so as not to overstock or to understock.
That's stock. Thank you very much. Absolutely. We know what comes in, what we need, what is available, and why we should restock, so that we get to ourselves to that safety level that we just mentioned a few minutes ago. Thank you. We
It
said
also
that
helps to reduce cost.
it reduces the cost of inventory. It reduces the cost of inventory. When you talk of reducing the cost of inventory, sometimes we use, they say use 1 stone to kill 2 birds. It is applicable everywhere. Even in business, you can use 1 stone and kill even 3 birds. Let's say, for example, the place that you are procuring this material from is a little bit far from where the company is. And you now look at it, having done your projection, and you say, okay, instead of us to go this journey like 3 times, wasting transportation, why don't we do it at once? Get what we want at once. Or we can also, within the same vicinity, get as many materials, the components that we need, Rather than coming all the way, you get the flour, you bring it to the organization, the company. Tomorrow you are going to get sugar. Next tomorrow you are going to get onions. That is what costs on the side of the organization. But when you have an inventory system that is functional, it reduces the cost of inventory. That is the cost of bringing goods in and the cost of taking goods out, because you would have been able to factor in so many things, so many mode of operations, and then get the desired result at once. So, effective inventory management helps business to maximize the cost of carrying inventory by reducing overstocking and what obsolescence. There are some goods that are just there. Look at this one underlined: overstocking and what goods that are obsolete. They are no longer useful to the organization. So, by monitoring stock level and ordering products only when needed, businesses can reduce the amount of money tied up in inventory. Right? You don't need to get as much as at the end of the day, the price for that commodity drops. You have tied down your money, or the customers are not demanding as much as you expected. You are tying down your money. So that should be, then we talk about prevent stock out. When you have an inventory management system, it prevents stock out. A situation where you are telling stories that we do not have stock, nobody will listen to you. They will decide to check the next available substitute. We talk about improved customer satisfaction. Once you are able to make your product available at every point in time, the right quality, the right quantity, at the right time, with the right price, customer satisfaction is improved. Confidence is built. Trust is built. And that's exactly what organizations need to survive. So, what are some of the inventory management operations? It includes the demand forecasting, the inventory planning. We've talked so much about demand forecasting. We're talking about inventory planning. In our first class, we did say that planning cannot be overemphasized in any facet of business. No matter how minute you think the operation is, planning is underneath. When you see organizations that survive, when you see organizations that is thriving, when you see organizations that are making profit, check underneath, and you will agree with me that these are organizations that do not take planning for granted. They do not take planning for granted. As a matter of fact, even if they want to have a meeting, it has to be planned for. Because in that meeting, what are the caliber of people that are coming? What are we going to use to refresh them? What is the honorarium? What is this and this? It is planning. If I come to your office for a meeting, the way you receive me will tell me if you are ready for business with me or not. And that is a result of what? Effective planning. So this is the process of determining the right level of inventory to have on hand. The right level. Why should we have this level at our disposal? Why? If we have this level, what are we going to do? When is it going to be sold out? How is it going to be? You know, planning answers the questions of when, how, why, what, who. That is planning. Who does what? Why? Why should it be done? When will it be done? How will it be done? Sometimes to whom will it be? Therefore, as an inventory manager, planning is very important. This is based on factors such as demand, lead time, and carrying cost. You are planning based on the demand. You are planning based on the lead time. You are planning based on what the carrying cost for that moment. Then we talk about control. Control is simply having a total grip of what is available and what is coming in, what is going out, that nothing happens or nothing takes you by surprise. As an inventory manager, they call you, there's a demand for this product. Hey, oh dear, I'm sorry, I didn't know. When did this product go out? Who authorized it? You are just making a fool of yourself as a manager. It shows that you do not have control of the inventory in that organization. Nothing happens without your involvement. Nothing happens without your knowledge. Nothing happens without your approval as far as that is concerned. Because at the end of the day, you are accountable to what is left, to what came in, and what is going out. That is your role. Inventory evaluation. Determine the value of a company's inventory. We have this warehouse stocked with this material. What is the value? What is the value? You will hear someone say, our current asset, our fixed asset, our current liability for this period of time is XYZ. Why? Because they've been able to quantify what they have monetarily as far as the organization is concerned. So I can tell you as an inventory manager that the product at our disposal is worth 500 million naira. If 500 million naira is tied down for a period of 3 months, how do we pay salaries? How do we procure advanced machines, tools? How do we pay for rent? How do we upgrade our facilities? Why? Money is tied somewhere. So you must understand what is the inventory value in terms of quantitative analysis, in terms of qualitative analysis, as it will affect the overall interest of that organization. So effective inventory management is essential for businesses of all sizes. No matter how small a business is, even some of their bookings that you have on your street, in your estate, they know when a pack of sugar is almost getting exhausted. They know when a pack of sweet is almost getting exhausted. They know when a carton of milk is almost getting exhausted. Why? They put into consideration and they take cognizance of all these items that we are talking about. They are not educated, they are not exposed, they are not grounded, but they understand in their own little way what inventory is all about. There are some aboki places, kiosks that you go to that they can never lack a particular commodity, a particular item, because they know such item is what is sellable within that locality that they are in. So they will stop at nothing to ensuring that they are not stocked out and they do not have what overstock. So it doesn't matter the size of the business. What matters is having an understanding of what inventory is all about. It is applicable everywhere. Do the banks take inventory? Of course they do. Do the insurance companies take inventories? Of course they do. The educational system, do they take inventory in universities? Yes, they do. The data they have is what gives them the right to making any decision. Okay, so we talk about some of the inventory management techniques, like I mentioned before. One is ABC analysis, one is MRP techniques, JIT method, drop shipping, EOQ model, and safety stock. Every organization makes use of either one or two or more of these techniques. The question now is, what is applicable to your organization? How does your organization operate? How does your organization operate? What kind of business are they into? The kind of business that you are in determines the different inventory management techniques that will be applied. So, there are a number of different inventory management techniques that businesses can use. The best techniques for a particular business will depend on a number of factors, such as the type of business, the product that they are sold, and the size of the business. Just like what I said, it depends on what you are into, the kind of product, what your organization believes, the culture of the organization, and of course, the size. Okay, so we talk about just in time, and I did mention an example of just in time a few minutes ago. You've just placed an order with Domino Pizza that you need family size of Domino Pizza. They tell you, give us 30 minutes. Or if you are there in their office and you want to place an order, maybe 15 minutes. But if they are bringing it to your house, depending on the distance, they can tell you, give us 45 minutes, give us 30 minutes, give us 1 hour. That is an example of just in time. They are giving you based on the peculiarity of that product, based on the order made. Therefore, when they are procuring their materials, they do not procure materials that will last them in the next 7 years, 5 years, 3 years. No, they don't do that, because their own product is based on what? Just in time. Pay as you go. It is not ready-made, right? So inventory system, JIT, is a system where inventory is only ordered when it is needed. So in your organization, as a supply chain management, as a production, what do you do? When do we need this material? We order them as our customers are also placing order, right? If the system is in this format, we receive order, right? Within 7 days, your product will get to you as our customers. Within that 7 days, we've collected the orders from our customers. Now, we now place our own order to our suppliers to supply us the raw materials based on the orders that we have received. That is an example of just in time. So I don't say, Mr. Emeka, give me 500 bags of flowers. No, I don't do that. It is what my customers demand that I will do what? Place the order from. This is an example. All other organizations may not be able to operate based on JIT. For example, Coca-Cola can never operate just in time. They can't operate. Now, who can tell me a company that cannot operate using JIT techniques? Anybody? Just mention a company that you know cannot operate this and why. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. All
Hi.
right. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I think from my own perspective, pharmaceutical company, like let's say Swiss Pharma or all these manufacturers, cannot operate just in time inventory because there's need to have that product on ground. At any time, the patient may need the product, so it has to be in stock before you deliver the product. I think that's the example I can give.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Any other person?
Like tobacco company also, you know, they can operate under this just in time inventory because the products has to be already made available in time because they deal with a lot of competitive brands in the market, so it has to be very much available on time for the customers or consumer to have it on their shelf.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. An example of companies, some automobile companies. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Some examples, you can find them in automobile. There are some cars that is operated based on just in time. It is only when you place order that the manufacturers of such cars will now start working on it and tell you you have delivery in the next 6 months. Whereas there are yet other automobile companies that do not operate in just in time. So it depends on the kind of product, the size of the market, your targeted market, and all of that. So these are what examples of companies that operate just in time. Okay, what are some of the advantages of operating just in time? It saves costs. And understocking. What are some of the disadvantages? One of the disadvantages is, what if there is high demand, like there's a spike in demand? How will you be able to handle that? When you have already projected, when you've already, planned that you are going to do it this way. That is the reason for what we call a business flexibility strategy. Every business person must have what we call flexibility strategy. If it comes this way, I am available. If the customers are, demanding too much, we have the capacity. We've put in mechanisms to do what? To take care of this, right? So we talk about material requirement planning. The material requirement planning is a system that uses demand forecast to determine the amount of raw materials and components that are needed to produce a product. This can help businesses to avoid stock out and ensure that they have the right amount of inventory on hand to meet demand. There are some products that needs other corresponding components to be injected, infused, before it can come up the way it is. Have your flour. You cannot convert just flour, put it in the oven, and it gives you pizza. No. What are other components, other condiments that they put in? It's what was material requirement planning. We have to plan. If we are getting all these components, do we have the techniques, the technical know-how that will be able to convert this material based on the other components attached to it? It is one thing to have flour. It is another thing altogether to know how to mix in order to get the desired taste, the desired size, the desired flavor. So most companies put so much attention on how the materials and the components can be effectively used so that no one is left unattended to. We do not stop producing pizza because there's no onions. We do not stop producing pizza because there's no curry. We can't stop producing pizza because there's no pepper. No, these are components that must be infused into it. The economic order quantity is a function that can be used to determine the optimal order quantity of a product. This can help businesses to reduce cost by minimizing ordering costs and carrying costs. Economic, when you talk about economic, like what we're having in recent times in Nigeria, this is what economy order quantity. There are certain products that the patronage has dropped. Why? Because of the prevailing economic situation. If the dollar keeps going, that we get to 2,000, the number of people that will be able to buy bag of rice will reduce. The number of people that will be able to buy a bag of cement will reduce. Why? Because of the economic order quantity. What they used to order have drastically reduced. How does this affect our demand forecasting? How does this affect our supply forecasting? How does this affect our operations? It is your responsibility as the manager to work this out for the interest of the organization. What are some of the challenges of inventory management in businesses? Some of the challenges is managing stock out and overstocking. It is difficult to manage. It is difficult to manage where there is a stock out. Like we said, customers begin to withdraw. How do you engage them or re-engage them? How do you, bring them to a point where they begin to believe you? Once they begin to disbelieve what you can offer, you are losing money. It is a challenge. So maintaining the right balance between having enough inventory to meet demand and avoiding overstocking can be a challenge. Stock out can result in lost sales and frustrated customers, while overstocking can tie up valuable capital and lead to obsolescence or spoilage. So it is a challenge. How will I know if, okay, I've done my projection, I've done the forecast, I have come to a conclusion that in the next couple of years, we'll be able to sell XYZ. The couple of years has come. We have not been able to sell that XYZ. Something has affected the organization. It is either the material will get spoiled or customers are dissatisfied because they're not getting what they want. So this is a challenge. Then managing obsolete and slow-moving inventory. How do you manage an inventory that is slow in the market? That is why it is important to study the market holistically, leaving no stones unturned. How can you penetrate the market? Because item A that is selling well in the southeast may not sell well in the northeast, may not sell well in the north central, may not sell well in the southwest. How do you study? You study the peculiarity of what the people need, the kind of people within the state that you are operating, within the locality that you are operating. For example, no offense, please. This is my third class. There are certain businesses that you cannot operate and make your profit in the north. Why? Because of their beliefs. right? Because of their beliefs. So as a business person, it will be very, I don't want to use any word that is, it will be very unprofessional. Yeah, let me put it that way. Unprofessional for you to do a certain business that the northern people do not approve of, and you think you will make it. It's not possible. You just rush into the market, at the end of the day, you discover that, hey, these people in this area detest this product. And you have made the product already. What are you going to do about it? It's going to get spoiled. It's going to get spoiled. So, first and foremost, you understand your slow moving inventory. What are those slow moving products in the market? What is causing the slow movement? What can we do? Then we talk about balancing costs, right? Balancing costs and services. The customers want something spectacular, but sometimes they are not ready to pay. The cost of materials that you have procured does not commensurate with what the customers are giving you. How do you balance it so that you still keep your customer and yet you still keep your business afloat? All right, managing complex supply chain. The supply chain becomes more complex. Managing inventory across multiple locations. I am getting supplies from Kaduna. I'm getting supplies from Abuja. I'm getting supplies from Port Harcourt. I'm getting supplies from Port Novo. It becomes complex. How do I scale through this? Considering the cost implications, considering the high risks associated with the inventory, with the supply chain. What if there is failure on the side of the supplier? How will it affect the organization? How will it affect production? How will it affect our customers? If the customers are affected, how do I manage the whole situation? So these are some of the things, some of the challenges that is peculiar as far as managing, inventory is concerned. Okay, adapting to changes in demand. That is why I came in the other time saying that it is important for every business person to be what? Flexible strategically. You are flexible. You are not telling me as a customer, you see, sir, I'm sorry. That is how we do our things here. I am sorry. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I can't help at this point. We do not produce more than this. I can't meet your order. Your request cannot be granted. This is our policy. This is how we do things. No, you don't work like that. There is room for flexibility. Rapid changes may occur. What do? You remain flexible. Demand can be difficult to manage, especially for businesses that hold large amounts of inventory. So, quickly adjusting inventory level in response to changes in demand can be challenging, especially for businesses that use traditional slow-moving inventory management process. But what are we trying to say? For you to be flexible, because if you are not flexible, they will live in the market. It's as simple as that, because you're not the only one there. So we need to do what? Be open to adapting to changes. Deal with seasonality. For businesses that operate based on seasons, make your projections right, because you are dealing with season. The rainy season is approaching. There are businesses that have started their projection already. People that sew raincoat, people that produce rain boots, people that produce umbrellas, they've started their projection. But in making your projection, also put into consideration that the season will not always be It will not always be, it will change. And if you have not done accurate projection and you think that the rain will fall for 10 months, therefore I need to produce as much raincoat, as much umbrellas that I want to produce, you are going to tie down the resources of that organization, right? Tracking and managing inventory. It could be difficult, it could be challenging, but when you have the right tools on ground, when you have the right technology, when you have the right techniques, when the people that are operating, the people that are working are exposed to what they should do, it becomes less cumbersome. It becomes less challenging. But if they are still operating on the orthodox level, that you have to go and be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what came out yesterday? You counted. Oh, yeah, go and count again. It becomes challenging. It becomes sometimes frustrating. It takes time. But with the right technology, with the right approach, you are able to record, have your database, have your information. You are able to analyze. Anybody calls you for any data, you give your data within split of minutes. Why? Because you have everything documented. The inventory management best practices. Inventory management, what is best practice out there is what we are bringing to us. Because one of the goals of this training is that we are no longer doing things locally. We want to compete favorably with what is obtainable in the global scene. In the global scene, how are they doing their things globally? How is business run globally? How is inventory management done globally? That is what is bringing us to the best practices. One, use a cloud-based inventory management system. Of course, we all know some of us are technologically inclined in terms of IT. We know what cloud is. You know, some of us, we have it on our phone. Information have been taken to cloud. You store your pictures, you store your documents in cloud. Why? Because you don't want to lose them. They are very useful to you. They are your asset. Okay, you don't want to lose them. So you take them to cloud. One of the best practices is every information, as far as inventory is concerned, should not only be written in paper. You have higher education. You say, some person collected 5 cartons and you are writing in your higher education. You have ruled the line, use red biro, blue and black. Say stock in, stock out, what is remaining. It is good though, it is documentation. But have you considered what if you have someone within the system that want to sabotage your effort as a manager, as an inventory manager? You say, this guy, I will show him. He thinks he wants to carry, he is doing as if this is his father's company. I will show him. When you leave, they break in, carry your higher education and burn it. And you come out the following day. Hey, I'm looking for this higher education. Is nowhere to be found. All the information that you have is in there. No duplication. No other alternative storage system. It is very bad. So that is why we make mention of what? Cloud-based inventory. Let everything be cloud-based. That even if you lose your paper, you can retrieve it from the cloud as easy as possible. Keep accurate stock record. You do not work based on, hey, I think, hey, give me 2 minutes. Let me think. I think, I think Mr. Ojo collected 5 cartons yesterday. If I'm not mistaken. I think Mrs. Aja collected, no. It doesn't work in such a way. You do not work based on what you think. You work based on records. based on available data at your disposal, based on available information. So, proper record, accurate record of your stock in, stock out, stock available, what have you, should be available. At any given time, the management can request for it. How do you look as an inventory manager? The board of directors have called you to give detailed analysis, and they ask you on the 28th of January, who took what? Hey, sir, hey, let me think. I'm coming, sir. Please give me some time. I think you look stupid in their presence. You look unprofessional in their presence. You look unserious in their presence. What they want is on the 28th of January, how many products went out? How many products came in? Who authorized what? Okay, please, sir, just a minute. Okay, on the 28th of January, Mr. Lagbaja collected 50 tons of this. Okay, we had 100 whatever came in. Okay, what went out was this. Okay, what is available is this. As simple as that. How do you look? Professional. How do you look? Detailed. How do you look? Serious. That is one of the best practices. Establish coefficient purchasing procedures. Establish coefficient purchasing what procedures. That when you are, negotiating with your suppliers, let there be a kind of, okay, and what if we purchase this quantity? Is there discount on the carriage, discount on the product, discount on this, discount on that? Right? What are you trying to do? You are trying to have the best of the product with the best prices for the interest of that organization. So you do not come to me and say, we need 5 trailer loads of cement, and I tell you it is 50 million. Okay, thank you, we will pay. No. What if I have a deal with you? I am buying this much. Can we share the cost of transporting days from this venue to our facility? That is a bargain. Don't forget last week we said whatever we need to do with our suppliers, it has to be what? A win-win scenario, a win-win case. Right? So we say split inventory into different categories. This will help you to better track your inventory levels and identify items that are moving slowly or quickly. I can decide within an organization having different products. I trust item A, product A, in the hands of Mr. Lagbaja, product B in the hands of Kudirat, option product C in the hands of Kalu. Why? Because I do not want the whole product to be handled by one person. It could be challenging. In knowing what is available and what has gone out, it could be challenging. Understanding the market trend could be challenging. Analyzing the demand forecast and the demand supply, it could be very demanding. Therefore, as large as the company is, depending on the kind of product that we are into, I can decide to split it. It is only in this part of the country or in this part of the world that the inventory manager is taking care of 3 products. He is the salesperson, he is the procurement manager, he is the, in fact, accountant, he is the warehouse manager, all in one. Why? Because the organization does not want to pay. But they forget, should anything happen, the organization will suffer. Why not pay for services and enjoy the positive impact that comes with it, than to keep one person, overload that person with 5 different jobs and make that person unproductive? This is the best practice. In developing world, The developing countries, if they say that your job is only to package, that is the only thing that you are doing. Your job is only to package. You are not to load. You are just, if your job is just labeling, that is what you do. You are not diverting into something else. Why? Because they want you to be productive in that position that you are. So we say develop active relationship with your suppliers. Develop what? Active relationship with your suppliers. It pays because when your suppliers understand that you have their interests at heart, they also have your backings. They can give you some information as suppliers that you may not be privy to. They understand what is peculiar within the system. They can tell you, hey, please, if you have the money, come and procure XYZ. In the next 2 weeks, the price is going to go up. They have the information. You may not be privy to. So when you maintain cordial relationship, this is averted. Set inventory goals. What are we achieving? What are we achieving? We want to achieve a safety level. That is what we want to achieve. We want to achieve a situation whereby we are never understock. We want to achieve a situation whereby we are never overstock. We want to achieve a situation whereby a standard whereby at no point do customers request for products and we give them excuses. That is a goal. And we work towards it by what? By planning. Monitor your inventory levels regularly. It could be quarterly, it could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be daily, it could be yearly, depending on the size of the organization and what is obtainable. Use barcode scanners or other inventory tracking system. This will help you to know what product is available.
What is it
What
doing?
product is not available. Every product has its tag. So when we scan, we are able to know what is remaining. We are able to know what has gone on. Set up a system for tracking inventory movement. The product has moved from point A to point B. How can we track it? So that we are able to know where it is at any given time. Most organizations now use tracking devices. This is technology. And any organization that wants to succeed in supply chain management, in logistics and distributions must invest heavily in what? In technology. At every point in time, I know this is where the product is. This is where the product is. Okay, it's getting close to the end user. It's getting close to the end user. Okay, they've got challenges on the road. We are able to see it. We analyze it. We know it makes the job easier. Rotate your inventory regularly. Rotate your inventory regularly. We talk about first in, last out, last in, first out, depending on what you have. You can decide to say, okay, we are going to sell out all the product that was produced last week. While we are producing this week, we are not selling the ones for this week, we are selling the ones for last week. That is first in, first out. Or you say, okay, the ones that we are producing this week is the one that we are selling next week. Last in, first out. But there must be reason for your actions. Dispose of obsolete inventory promptly. Anything that is no longer useful, dispose of it. Dispose. Anything that is no longer useful, dispose. Train your employees on inventory management procedures. They must be trained. Everybody must be well trained on how this is done. Then we talk about the technologies in inventory management, the warehouse, the automated guided vehicles, automated picking tools, the the blockchain, the barcodes, the AI learning, machine learning, and what have you. All of these will help to have a proper inventory system on ground. Okay? They are all, excuse me, they are all explained in detail here. The softwares that we are using, most people, for example, there's no place you go to that you don't see POS right now. Everybody uses it. Sometimes they make use of tracking devices. Sometimes they make use of scanning machines. Sometimes whatever thing that you can possibly bring on board your organization is welcome. All right. So let's look at briefly okay. Wow. We talk about the cloud computing that we mentioned. We have, okay, we pass this level, the barcode, the warehouse management system, Internet of Things, connecting your internet in a way that whatever you are doing, other people can see, right? For example, in accounting, there are different softwares that you use in your accounting packages. That whatever you are doing, I am seeing from any part of the world. It doesn't matter where I am, provided I am connected to the software. So if you are imputing the volume of sales, how much was made for 1 week, as you are doing it, I am seeing it anywhere I am. That is technology. So you do not have the monopoly to do whatever you want to do, and then there are fraudulent activities and all of that. It is curtailed when you know that there are other people that are joined to this network. You are not the only one working. Okay? So it is a technology that connects physical objects to the internet, enabling data collection and communication. In inventory management, IoT devices such as sensors and smart shelves can monitor inventory levels, temperature, humidity, and other environmental conditions. So once we have this software, at a glance, we will know if the temperature of this room is suitable for this product. We're able to know the expiry date of this product. We're able to know the manufacturing date of this product, the lifespan. We are able to know what is available and what is not available. It is a document, it is technology, it is software that connects all the information pertaining to a specific product within the organization. Mobile device and mobile app. You don't need to call somebody, please, I cannot locate your address. Once you send me your address, the next thing is to place it on Google Map, right? It gives me direction to where you are. That is what mobile devices and mobile apps. So I can install it on every vehicle that is going out for what distribution. I can track it. Most organizations make use of this. Artificial intelligence and what? Machine learning. These are softwares that will help you analyze data and equally give you results. It gives you options. Having analyzed product A, this is what we have come up with. Having analyzed product B, this is what we are seeing. Now, you are presented with the options of, are you going with a slow pace, a slow moving product, or you are going with a fast moving product? We have analyzed a slow moving product that if it is taken from this location to this location, it will gain the market. What are you going to do? It is then what? Your choice. Then robotic and automation. The truth is, not every organization can actually invest in all of these technologies. But start small. As the company is growing, you are consolidating on your technology. You are enhancing your technology. We said that these technologies, when implemented effectively, help organizations improve inventory accuracy, reduce stock out, optimize inventory levels, streamline operations, and enhance overall supply chain performance. The choice of technology depends solely on the specific requirements, scale of operation, and budget of the organization. If you do not have the budget for this, budget on what you can afford. Okay? So, 5 steps inventory management process. Before you do that, receive and inspect your product. Receive and inspect your product. When you receive the product, count the product. Ensure that it is the right quality, the right quantity. It is in the right state or disposition before it is moved to the warehouse. Inspect it. Don't do like what we ordered versus what we received. And you receive based on sentiment. You receive based on, is our suppliers. We have confidence in. Our supplier cannot do this. No. Something can go wrong along the line. Inspect. Sort and stock the product. When you must have inspected, the next thing is for you to do was sort it. It can come in different forms. You say, okay, you are sorting based on the durability. You are sorting based on the lifespan. You are sorting based on the demand. You are sorting based on age categories. When you sort the product, you also do what? You stock it. Right? Accept customer orders. Accept what customers want orders, because you have the material, you have inspected, you know everything is in order. When a customer places an order, the next thing for you to do is to do what? Is to accept, fulfill package, and ship order. Once a customer has placed an order, the next step is accurately and expediently fulfill the package and ship the order. Fulfill the package. What do we mean by that? Ensure that all the information as far as the product is concerned, they are met. Specifications are met. Once that is done, you do what? Ship the order. Then you do what? Reorder new stock, because you have exhausted, or you are almost exhausting what is available. Right? So one of the processes, we've talked about demand forecasting. We've talked about establishing reorder points. Reorder point based on historical data. You can decide on what is going to go out based on what the demand order. You are joining it with historical order, right? Historical data rather. You are able to have what? Establishing reorder point. Then you are talking about inventory tracking. inventory tracking. Whatever software that you want to use, it's important for you to implement that. Reorder and restocking. Reorder and your restocking is as a result of the information, the data that has been analyzed in your demand forecasting. Okay, you have now the right to restock. So as inventory level hits the reorder point, businesses must place new orders and replenish their inventories. Orders must be placed with suppliers and delivery or pickup arrangement must be made. That is it. Then we have quality control. Ensure that after inspection, your quality control department must swing into action to see that the quality is actually what the organization wants. And then the storage of inventory. What we have must be kept in a specific location that only authorized personnel are given, the right to access such a place. It is not a place that anybody can just go into because of what the value of what we have kept there. So in conclusion, inventory management plays a vital role in the success of any business. It involves monitoring and controlling the movement of goods and products from the procurement to delivery to customers. So effective inventory management will automatically, without doubt, help businesses to lower their costs. It will boost their efficiency. It will enhance customer satisfaction and gain competitive edge in the marketplace. This is what inventory management does to an organization that places value on customer satisfaction and profit maximization. Any question, please?
Make sure you spray money. How
Any question, any contribution? Any question, any contribution? Any question, any contribution? Or should we proceed?
Yes,
If you
let's
want us to
proceed.
proceed, say aye.
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 Hi.
All right.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Okay. Let's briefly look at transport management. Transport management. When you talk about logistics, supply chain, to operate, is it cost effective? This is why transport management is important, right? So we say that effective transport management, effective transport planning encompasses all the supply chain processes from selecting the right supplier right through to invoicing processing, right? We have selected as suppliers what mode of transportation system or transportation management are we looking at? Before we proceed, in your own understanding, what do you know or understand? What is your take about transport management? Anybody, please. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, can you see my slide, please?
Yes, we can see your slide.
see the slide.
Okay, what do you understand by transport management as far as inventory and supply chain management is concerned? What do you understand by transport management? Anybody, please?
I think it has to do with there's this thing called last mile. I think is it last mile or something? It has to do with transport, managing the delivery of inventory from a point to another point. All the processes that goes into delivering, and there are different methods of delivering inventory. There is rail, there is by road, there is by sea, by air. So everything that goes into delivering this inventory to where is needed, where probably to the supplier or to the distributor, or from the distributor to the person that wants to actually sell to the end users. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other person?
Based on what the madam just spoke about, transport management simply means it deals with planning, execution of freight movement by looking after the details. And it also
Okay,
looks at the other factors like carrier, rates, services, and the compliance data and other documentation.
okay. Thank you, sir. Any other person?
I think in my own view, transport management is all about the sum total of activity revolves around the
Oh,
movement
this is my hand in my hand.
from one point to another.
Okay, yes. We have all said well. Every activity that has to do with the movement of goods from one point to another is what is regarded as transport management. Now, what comes to your mind is, why should this product be transported through this means and not this other means? What are some of the activities, the documentation processes that you will go through that you will find it to be cumbersome, that will be demanding on the part of the organization, that we may not be able to meet all the criteria, hence the option or the choice of going with this mode of transportation. And like I said before, you also consider the peculiarity of the kind of product. There's no way that you can move maybe your crude oil, let's say from Bayelsa to Lagos by road. It has to go by rail. I mean, yeah, either by rail or by, there's transportation by pipe, transportation by pipe, transportation by rail, transportation by sea, transportation by air. Why the choice of it? What documentation will you have that will help you to get to what you want? These are all the activities that transport management entails. That's the reason we need to study. We need to understand what is the one that works for my organization. Which one should we go for? What kind of thing are we operating? We need to understand that. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Yes, we can move on.
All right, thank you. So we say that the function of transport management system in transport management is to address these areas and make them as cost effective, like somebody mentioned, as possible. We want to also understand the benefits of each of these services. Okay? The benefit of each of these services that we are using. How does the road transport benefit our organization? Does it give us more patronage? Does it give us more visibility? Does it give the customers more more confidence in the system or not? Okay, so we also understand that the main users of the software includes manufacturers, distributors, wholesalers, retailers, and what? And e-commerce organization. There's a software that this set of people use in order to track each of their products at any given time. For example, if I'm using the rail transport system, I cannot use the rail transport system for a product that could have gone by road. That I can have total control in terms of tracking. That I know it can meet my end users in the shortest possible time. The decision lies with the organization on what they are using. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, transport management platforms. We say that the platform provides digital support for logistic processes and are vital elements of a business supply chain management system. So with effective use, business can control, automate, and optimize the daily operation of their vehicle fleet. For example, the logistics companies, you talk about maybe God is Good Motors, you talk about DHL, you talk about ABC, you talk about what other transport management platforms that are into logistics. Most of their products, most of their deliveries happens by road. The ones with longer distance, they happen by what? By air. Why do they operate in such? For efficiency and productivity. For efficiency and productivity. There was an order I placed from Port Harcourt through DHL on Tuesday. By Thursday, I got the parcel in the office. If it had gone by road, they could have still gotten here, but it will not be as swift as that. Okay? So when we are operating on this transport platform, we understand that there are so many elements that must be put in place, that we must consider, especially when we are dealing with fleet vehicles. When you talk of fleet, we are making reference to having a vehicle that is more than one, more than two, more than three. You have them like God is good, all their vehicles, it can be regarded as fleet. They have more than 10 vehicles. They have more than 10 vehicles That is what fleet management. And on each of those vehicles, they have automated tracking system devices that shows how much speed the driver is using, is applying. It records conversation in the vehicle. That if there's any altercation, then you are called from their office. They say, we know what is happening, who said what, and at what point. They track where the driver is stopping and when he got to his destination. This is to give us a seamless, efficient, and effective mode of delivery. Next slide, please. Next. Okay. The solutions are designed to increase TMS, means Transport Management System. It's to increase transparency of transportation operations. You don't need to lie to me that you're already there, whereas you are still 2 hours away from the location. There is transparency. You have gotten there, it shows on the system. It shows on the system in the office that you have reached your destination. It ensures effective use of resources. Effective use of resources in terms of, let's say, diesel, in terms of fuel. Okay? Comprehensively evaluate current operating conditions. The current operating condition is evaluated. We know what is prevalent. We know what is applicable. We know what is happening. We have total control of everything that is happening. It guarantees on-time delivery of freight and goods. Timely delivery. No procrastination of delivery of goods. Provides unnecessary documents. There is nothing like, pranks. You are not trying to sabotage the effort of the organization. You are not trying to play a fast one. No alteration of documents. Everything is fresh. Right? So these are some of the solutions that are designed to. Next, please. Okay. The most up-to-date platform function as a cloud solution with distinct advantage that all stakeholders can access all relevant transport data easily in real time. We can access, for example, if you are using air transport, you have the manifest. Even on the road, you have the manifest. For every product that is transported from one location to another, there is a manifest. There is a document that shows the quantity of the product, that shows the location of the product, that shows the person delivering the product, that shows the receiver of the product in real time. It is visible. Okay, so modern TMS software delivers the further benefits of enabling comprehensive integration of, for example, freight forwarders to supply chain. There is a smooth transport system from the point of pickup to the point of delivery, from the point of procurement to the end user. The operation is what is smooth. Why? Because the software helps us to fast track, to keep our eyes on the operations from the beginning to the end. Next, what are the advantages? What are the advantages of transportation management system? Can anybody help us? The advantages of transportation management system? Can anybody help? What are the advantages?
I think one of the advantages of transport management system is ensure that goods are delivered to end users on time and in good shape.
Thank you very much. On time and in good shape. The right time, the right quality. Any other person?
It improves efficiency and responsiveness.
It improves efficiency and responsiveness. Thank you very much. Any other person? Any other person? So I only have 2 people responding. It drives businesses, of course, provides better service to customers. Because what we achieve or what we try to achieve is we have the idea. Our goal is to satisfy our customers so that we can maximize profit. We've talked about inventory. We are talking about transportation system. If you have a good inventory management system and you are lacking in transportation management system, can your customers be satisfied? Can your customers be satisfied? The answer is no.
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 Your customers cannot be satisfied. Therefore, all of this plays a very vital role in achieving our end result. In other words, one of these cannot be left unattended to for you to get your desired result. Food for your guests. You know the caliber of guests that are coming for the party that you're organizing, and you want to satisfy them. And you know the importance of salt. And you say, okay, I have every condiment, but I am not going, salt is not important, and you leave it. There's no way that they will tell you that your food was actually palatable. There's no way they will tell you that your food was inviting, was sumptuous. No way. Why? Salt, as little as it is, was discarded, was not given attention. Or you say, okay, I don't know, they normally eat enough pepper. Let me put enough pepper. At the end of the day, you spoil everything. What we are trying to say is everything that we are talking about should be given the right attention. The right steps should be followed in order to get the desired result. Next slide, please. Okay. The benefits include lower freight costs, shipment tracking, enhanced customer service, more efficient goods receipts, and what? More efficient goods, receipts. These are some of the benefits that you have when you have what? A very functional transport management system on ground. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, next. It improves efficiency. Yes. It improves efficiency. Like the lady said, it improves what? Efficiency. We know what we are doing. We're efficient. We deliver on time. There's no lapses. Proper communication, proper delivery. The shipment meets the specification. on time, the right material, nothing is tampered with. That is efficiency. Next slide. Next slide. Better customer service. Of course, we've said that. Next. Compliance and safety. Compliance and safety. When we talk about compliance, as an organization, we cannot work as logisticians or a logistic company without having to comply with statutory rules, statutory regulations, statutory ethics as far as the business is concerned. And once that is done, it means that, a transportation management system helps ensure compliance by providing tools for monitoring and tracking compliance-related information. So as a driver, do you have the necessary work paper to be put on the road? Are you trained? You will be stopped either by VIO, FRSC, the police, and what have you. They want to see that before the organization will put you on the road as, a transporter, so to say, you have already complied with the safety rules and regulations as it is contained in the industry and is applicable within the industry. How can you say you are compliant when you are driving without extra tires? You are driving without what do we have? Fire extinguisher. You are driving without complete paper. The vehicle is not registered. You do not have up-to-date paper renewal. That means you are not compliant. So for every system, it shows you how compliant this organization is in terms of what rules and regulations is what is available. Have you been able to train your staff? Can we see your training schedule for the period of 6 months? Can we see that your drivers have passed the test of driving? These are some of the compliance, because once you have been able to comply with this, the level of safety to a particular standard is achieved. We know that for you to train your staff, safety is very important. Are they okay to drive the particular truck that they are driving? Are they qualified to drive this particular truck that they are driving? Are they mentally sound? Are they health-wise sound? When last did you conduct health and safety tests on them to ascertain their psyche, to ascertain their level of preparedness before entering the road? Are they drunk people? Are they on drugs? These are some of the things that you must do in order to comply and be safety conscious. Next slide. Next slide. How to choose the right transportation management system for your business. Next. Scalability. It determines how well the system can adapt to changes in the volume and complexity of your transportation needs. We are talking about software. Peradventure, you have more volume. Does the software allow for accommodating the large volume? Do you have enough space to expand the scope, expand the level of the demand? That is scalability. So every software that is adopted must have this feature. Okay, what we have, for example, is like you are having a register. You decided to buy 40 leaves to register the number of students that you have in a session or in a term. What if you have up to 5,000 students? Will that 40 leaves accommodate the 5,000 students, their names to be written in? The answer is no. So what do? Instead of having 40 leaves, why don't you have a higher education that can accommodate up to 15,000 names? So that peradventure, you get to 15,000, it will accommodate. That's exactly what we are talking about. So we are saying scalability determines how well the system can adapt to changes in the volume and complexity of your transportation needs. Scalable transportation management system will handle increasing shipments and routes as well as multimodal transport, multi-party shipping, and global logistics. Ability to be flexible, ability to expand. Should there be a rush? Should there be more demand for your product, for your service? Next slide, please. We talk about the integration. How well integrated is the software? The integration aspect means that every person must try as much as possible to understand. I'm talking about the people within the operational system. They should be able to operate the software. And then again, integration. Will this software meet our desired goals and objectives? Will it meet what we are getting it for? How well will it settle with what we have? It should integrate with other softwares and systems you use, such as your enterprise resource planning and warehouse management system, to ensure that data is seamlessly shared across functions and geographic locations, and that processes are automated. So integration involves or improves efficiency, reduces errors, and provides better visibility into your supply chain operation. It must be able to fit into the needs of the organization. It must be able to share data we talk about user friendly. How user friendly is the software? Is it cumbersome? Is it difficult? Do I need to take extra class, extra coaching, extra training before I can use the software? Or is this something that I can just use when I'm taught once? It is simple to operate. Does it have any health hazard? Are we prone to any challenges? Are we prone to any hazard when using it? Okay, it should be easy to navigate with a clear and intuitive interface. Any software that we bring in that is detrimental to our health, detrimental to what we want to use it for, is not friendly. It has to be what? Friendly. And then we talk about cost. How expensive or how less expensive is it? What if there is need to replace? Do we have the capacity financially to purchase the software? That is the next slide, the cost. What is the cost implication? Will it have adverse effects on the organization when deployed? Does it have return on investment? When we use our hard-earned money to procure this software, what added advantage is it bringing to the organization? Are we procuring this software because others are using it? Or there's a specific goal, there's an objective that we want to. That is the cost. Next slide. How useful is transportation management system? So one of the most significant advantage of this is its ability to enhance visibility and control over the entire transportation network. When you are able to effectively put into use these systems, these softwares, these solutions, it makes your company visible. You are the talk about business in town. Why? Because it enhances productivity, it enhances performance, it enhances customer satisfaction, and then you become the talk of the town. Your goodwill, which is your company name, is maintained. You are now visible. You are seen everywhere. Okay? Next slide, please. So efficiency is another key aspect that makes TMS an invaluable tool for business. Like one of the participants mentioned, efficiency. We are good at what we are doing because we have deployed every mechanism, every technique, every tool, and it is giving us results that we want. We have invested in technology, we are getting the results. We are simply good at what we are doing. Nobody can take that. You want to compare DHL services to other people? No. The gap is there. Why? Because of their investment, and their investment is yielding the much needed result. They are visible everywhere. Even if they are expensive, people prefer to use them because they have that confidence that they will deliver. Okay, so efficiency is another key aspect. Next slide. One must also acknowledge the positive environmental impact of TMS implementation by optimizing routes and consolidating shipments. TMS significantly reduces fuel consumption and emission, benefiting both organization and society at large. Imagine if there was no air transport, all the vehicles will be on the road. What is going to happen? There will be emission, there will be traffic congestion, there will be mix up here and there. But with the air, there is what? Diversification, less consumption of fuel. The company will not be thinking of, oh, we need to put 10 trucks on the road at the same time. Do you know how much diesel is right now? Do you know how much fuel is right now? But you can just go by air and the cost would have been integrated. We talk about green environment, green society, sustainability. These are some of the things that make our environment to be safe for us to operate and to live. Next slide. So, overall, the utility of TMS cannot be overstated. From cost savings and improved efficiency to enhance visibility and environmental benefits, organizations that deploy TMS gain a competitive edge in the fast-paced and demanding world of logistics and supply chain management. As businesses increasingly strive for excellence, TMS becomes not just a luxury, but a necessity for surviving and thriving in a highly dynamic marketplace. So you don't do it because I have money. I have money. I can deploy this software. I have money. We have money. This is no. It is not because of that. We are talking about that it is just necessary. It is necessary. Why are you deploying that? Because of the goals, because of the objectives of the organization. Next slide, which is the last for the night. So, the 7 ways to improve your supply chain sustainability. Find the current pain points of your supply chain. Collaborate with sustainable suppliers. Reduce waste or byproducts. Nudge regulators and customers. Minimize what? Your inventory. Use environmentally friendly packaging materials. And of course, optimize your transportation. If we are able to put this into consideration as supply chain managers, as logisticians in our various organizations, we are on the right track to making progress, to satisfy customers, improving productivity, becoming visible, making profit, and being sustained in the market space. Any question, please? Any contribution? Any question, any contribution? Your opinion is highly welcome. The floor is open for the next 1 minute before we call it a day.
Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, please.
Okay, I want to confirm, is it the responsibility of a logistic officer or manager to manage the software, manage the inventory control and all that in an organization? Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for that question. I will say, in my own opinion, and as it is practicable, that it is not the responsibility of the inventory manager to, so to say, operate on the software package. But it is important that he has an understanding, a knowledge about what is being deployed. The reason for that is, as an inventory manager, you are working with data. You are working with information. So whatever software that is going to be deployed by the organization, you need to have an understanding. But it is the responsibility of the IT department of that organization to effectively manage the software, while the inventory manager is put on the know and also understand the software, how it is being used and how it is being applied. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Any question, please? Any contribution? You can drop your question on the chat session, please. In case you don't want to talk, you can drop your question or you can drop your contribution in there. Any question, please? Hello, are we good? Any question, please? Any question? Please, may I bring to your notice that we'll be having knowledge-based tests by next week. So while the training will be ongoing, we'll just give ourselves 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maximum of 10 minutes. The link will be sent to you. The questions will be there, and you answer and you submit. It's going to be, the answer will come out immediately. The reason for that is we want to know how we've been following and all of that. Thank you. So in the absence of no question, please, we call it a day.
So I also want to ask, I think the class ends next week.
On the 9th of next month, sir.
No.
On the 9th of
The class
next
is for
month.
3 weeks. 4 weeks, sorry. It's 4 weeks, not 3 weeks.
Yes,
This
it
second week.
ends.
We still have 2 Saturdays now.
It's all right,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, we
Yes,
still
sir.
have to do this.
We still have 2 Saturdays.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. MJB, over to you, please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Friday. Thank you. Thank you, our wonderful participants. Do we have anything to say to Mr. Friday? Do we have anything to say to Mr. Friday today?
Thank you, Mr. Friday. Thank you for the knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
The lecture is impactful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, our
very much.
participants.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. That's very,
Mr.
very
Andrew Smith. Mr. Andrew, thank you for having you.
Thank you so much, sir.
And I want to, Mr. Andrew, thank you for how your own inputs. Thank you, because it is not, everybody doesn't know it. The knowledge is not built on one person alone. It is, we get knowledge from everybody. Thank you so much for what you said in the beginning of your contribution, at the beginning of this course, for today's course.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, sir.
To the rest of our participants, thank you so much for, it has been engaging. We've learned a lot, and you've also appreciated Mr. Friday. Today has ended. We'll continue. We have 2 more Saturdays. All in all, 4 Saturdays. By the grace of our Creator, we've been able to overcome the second day, which is today. So the next one comes up on the 2nd, and finally, with everything is terminated on the 9th. Thank you so much. Do have a lovely night rest and a blessed week ahead. Good night.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bassett. Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.